It's 9 o'clock and I'm calling the meeting to order. Let's stand for a moment of silence today. Thank you. And now the pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Need a minute on the minutes.
I haven't had a chance to read mine. Anyone else read them? Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for the April 15th B.O.D. meeting.
No.
And second.
Okay. I'm going to make an executive decision that we established a quorum. Do we have a secretary's report?
Actually, we have received some correspondence.
Okay,
One,
that one on top is from the sheriff's report, is that? Or did you have some?
okay,
others?
I'm just going to mention we got it, I'm not going
Okay, he's here.
to, okay. We have one that will come up later, I understand, in Sheriff Brad Cole's presentation regarding traffic enforcement in organizations such as ours. We also received a letter from Russell Knoll, which was a very nice letter explaining his position. It's quite lengthy, and unless someone really wants, I'm not going to read it, I'll give you a summary of it, but he pointed forth his concerns for maintaining the historical significance of the interior of Dickman Hall to blend in with the 1940s atmosphere, and some concerns. His concerns seem to be alleviated. We had a special meeting that took care of that, and it seems we're going to work out. One of them was a television being replacing a historical picture in the lounge area, but as I understand it, that's been resolved by the television is going to be mounted inside of a shadow box that will allow the picture to cover it up, and in special events when they want to use the television, they can remove the picture just temporarily. And that's the crux of that correspondence. I don't think there's anything else I have to report.
I don't think so either. Nice. Thank you.
It's all right.
Treasurer's report.
We passed the minutes.
We didn't pass the minutes.
Motion and a second, but no.
I'm trying to hurry the meeting along.
Didn't you approve the minutes?
They
I made
They
a
made the
motion to
motions,
approve.
but I
Have a
didn't.
second.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't vote.
We did not
That's
vote.
what I mean.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Keep me on the straight and narrow
I beg
today.
to be apologized.
Okay. All in favor of the minutes as presented? Anyone no? Okay. Moving right along, treasurer's report.
Okay, we'll do the bank transfers first. April 2017, estimated. Bank and Trust, Los Morris, 0. Operating expense, Texas Community Checking, 85,000 operating expense. Bank and Trust payroll, 99,000. Bank and Trust impound, 0 operating expense. Estimated total of 184,000. April 2017 actual to Bank and Trust Los Morris, 0 for operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $69,034.28 operating expense. Bank and Trust payroll, $66,000. Bank and Trust impound, 0 for operating expense for a total of $135,034.28, which is a fairly large decrease. May 2016 actual, Bank and Trust Los Morris, 0 operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $59,321 operating expense. Bank and Trust payroll, $67,500. Bank and Trust impound, 0 for operating expense for $126,821. May 2017 estimated, Bank and Trust Los Morris, 0 operating expense. Texas Community Checking, $85,000 operating expense. Bank and Trust payroll, $68,000. Bank and Trust impound, which is now restricted fund, 0 operating expense for $153,000. Bank balances as of Wednesday, May 17th, 2017. Del Rio Banks, Texas Community Credit Card, $12,642.08. Texas Community Checking, $16,310.81. Texas Community Money Market, $2,563.67. Bracketville Bank and Trust, General Fund, $101,842.15. Payroll, $13,508.84. Restricted Fund, $412,319.04. Los Morris, $33,807.17 for a subtotal $592,993.76. Fort Clark Historical Building Preservation Fund, $18,705.53. Fort Clark Hail Damage Repair Fund, $72,734.71 for a grand total of $684,434.00. That concludes my report. I move that the bank balances and the transfers be approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the treasurer's report. Any discussion? I notice our hail damage repair fund is dropping rapidly. We're down to 72 where we started with a lot.
Right, and to comment on that, it'll continue to drop as we make payments for the 2 foam roofs, which apparently the roofer cannot repair the fire station or the art studio until end of June. He requires fairly dry air and no rain to repair that foam. And there are some other individual things that need to be paid out, including money toward air conditioners that were damaged during the storm. So that will continue to drop.
Okay. All in favor, or is there any more discussion? All in favor of treasurer's report? Executive officers report.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. I'm happy to say finally you have the rather voluminous financial reports that were presented to us rather late on Wednesday. I'm sure that you've not had an opportunity to go through all of it. And because of that, I would like to suggest to the board that we have a workshop with the CPA, the bookkeeper, accountant, who can give us a full explanation of all of these financial reports. He would like to do that for a couple of reasons. First of all, to be able to fine tune what it is exactly that you want in the way of reports from him. And secondly, to have everybody to be on the same page with the same understanding of these financials. So I would recommend to you that here in the very near future, that we call a workshop with Randy Galloway, our CPA.
Do you have a suggested date on that?
I don't have a suggested date, but he's very flexible right now, having finished with the tax season. So he's.
We're getting less flexible because it's vacations.
True. Maybe we could combine it with another one. We have other workshops, I believe. Well, we could work out the date.
Yeah, let's work on that.
Okay. Miss Ann?
Maybe we could do it next week before I leave. I would love to be
Oh.
part of that.
Oh, all right, that makes sense. Can we plan it for?
Let me get with Randy and see what we can do. Okay. I know you've been waiting to hear about the RV park renovations and repairs and the like being brought to it. And some things have been done since the last time that we met. The main building has been painted. I'm not sure that it's quite finished, but if it's not, it will be very soon. The restroom has been painted as well. All the sewer caps have been replaced, and we have an inventory of sewer caps to replace them as they are run over and broken. We also put a replacement mower out there. The lawn mower that they did have was just not adequate any longer. It was on its last leg, being held together by duct tape and baling wire. So we have a replacement mower out there that we shifted over from maintenance. And so with that, they're going to be moving on to other things, dealing with electricity and making the repairs there as well. So things are happening at the RV park. Matt is here, Matt Bland is here. I want to commend Matt, our security chief. He has been working with local law enforcement officers to train our staff. He's been bringing our peace officers into this room with the staff, and they've been training his staff to do better jobs in security here on the fort. So I commend you, Matt, for doing that.
Thank you, sir.
I want to point out that the Architectural Committee has been beefing up enforcement of the CC&Rs. I want to let folks know that even though they may not be in compliance and that they may receive a letter calling them into compliance, that the staff here wants to work with them to help them come into compliance. And so, though they may receive an enforcement letter, we want to work with them and to begin making those kinds of improvements. We've been having a number of tours here on the fort. Very recently, the 14th Cavalry Association came. There were a large number of them came, and the Historical Society with Russell and Chuck and Bill, they were all giving tours of this group, and they seemed to have a very good time. They were welcomed home, so to speak, welcomed home on the fort. Excuse me just a moment. We're also preparing to have a rather large ROTC group coming onto the fort. We're looking forward to them coming. And the Deputy Commander, I think, Lieutenant Colonel Gray, will be coming this week. He's going to be looking over the fort. He was in charge of, as I understand it, R&R for his officers. And so he's looking at Fort Park as a place to promote rest and relaxation for his officers. Finally, Family Fun Day, the first one that we had was, I think, a very good success. Everyone who came, I think, seemed to enjoy themselves. I know that I did. We're planning another one on June the 3rd, The late night movie at the amphitheater was a big hit, although it was very windy and rather cold. It was still quite enjoyable. The King County Host is going to host the movie for that night on June the 3rd, so we're looking forward to that as well. And the second one being July the 4th. We're gonna marry the Family Fun Day with all the July the 4th activities as well. So we could be looking forward to that. And there's something I'm forgetting, but I'll think of it in a minute. I haven't seen your moment, there's another thing that's related to that, but that concludes my report.
Any questions?
How's the pool doing?
Quite well, actually. The official, I think that's what I was going to talk about.
Oh, good.
Of course, the official start date for the swim park activities is the Memorial Day, which is coming, but we've already got a jump on it, and we're already set up and running, and we have our lifeguards in place, and everyone has been enjoying the pool, so unofficially, we've already started. We're at full swing, so things are going well.
Mr. Marks, do you want to tell them about Knippa bringing their students over to the pool?
In this past week, yes, ma'am, I don't know.
I love that
Knippa,
story.
well, I'm not sure I know the same story you do, but I do know that they've been bringing, Knippa school system has been bringing busloads of children here to the fort so that they may enjoy the pool. And it's been, seems like one bus after another bus after another bus.
This is primary, middle
They
school,
did- they
high
did it
school, and
according
I
to
think
the
this is
rank.
the third year they've come, is what I was told by them, so I don't know.
Well, they seem to enjoy themselves, even where it was overcast and whatnot, they were still out there having a ball, so it was fun to open that up to them.
And the man who was in charge told me that the kids, when they ask them where they want to go, they always say they want to come here.
Come to the
That
fort.
they love it here.
So there you have it.
We have a sheriff in town here, I think.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Wonderful. Good.
Thank you.
I want to thank y'all for allowing me to come in here and talk for just a few short minutes. Since I've been in office, I've received quite a few complaints from the fort about speeding and late night shenanigans going on. My big concern with the speeding is Scales Road, the main road here on Fort Clark, and the one over by the stables. Currently, we can't enforce any of the speed limit laws up here because of the sign issue and being private property. But my biggest fear is Scales Road. Somebody's gonna pull out in a golf cart and one of these hot rodders is gonna hit them. And we're gonna have to, there's gonna be an accident, somebody's gonna get seriously hurt. And if the lawsuits start flying, I don't think Fort Clark or the county has the funds to settle that lawsuit. So what I would like to do is set a time when the board members, the county attorney, myself, the justice of the peace, county commissioners can sit down and start looking at what we need to do to proceed forward to try to enforce some of the laws that are speeding laws over here. I know that there'll probably be some feedback both sides, but I'm all for it. If it gets approved, fine. If it doesn't, then that's just one of the things we have to live with in a democracy. So if y'all have any questions, I'm usually at my office from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday through Friday. So stop by, give me a call, and we'll set a date and try to get things rolling. The county attorney will be here Monday, and I've got an appointment with him to start trying to get things going on my end. But
When you
y'all-
say get things going, would you be a little more specific?
What's that now?
When you say get things going, what do you mean exactly?
My first thing is I'm gonna talk to the county attorney and see where we stand legally. And then talk with the justice of the peace and get a little more information, present actually the facts to the board, so we can sit down and decide if this is something that the residents of Fort Clark wanna proceed with or not.
I'm pretty sure they do,
Okay.
but there would be a lot of things that we need to know ahead of time. And
Oh, yeah, well,
I appreciate you coming.
well, thank you for having me. But this is probably gonna be a couple of year process. I mean, it's not gonna be an overnight fix.
Absolutely.
And the Scales Road just scares me to death. Because I've had some reports down there, they're younger people. And they're doing 85, 90 miles an hour down that road just to see how fast their car will go. So if something happens down there, I pray that it doesn't. But I just want to be able to say something. I thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Committee reports.
Do we have someone from the airport? There she is. I didn't recognize you because you didn't have your assistant.
I know, my assistant's currently getting ready to go to San Antonio, so I won't be able to stay the duration of the meeting, unfortunately. But from the airport committee, we put new signage around the perimeter of the airfield fence, and it's done a really great job of deterring children from playing on the field, so we're very excited about that. This past month, and I'm going to kind of piggyback on what Mr. Lawrence was just talking about, this past month, we, the airport committee specifically, hosted Conexión del Rio, which is a news outlet that connects Mexico and Del Rio, and now they're including Brackettville, events into their media circulation. They came, we gave them a nice tour of the fort, and they really loved the airfield. So that was exciting. The representative from Conexión actually came back for the Family Fun Day, and he was hosted by the fort, and he's putting together a really nice promotional piece for free for the fort to enhance our media relations to get the name of the fort out. So
That's one of the things.
well, that's the second thing I'm going to talk about. And the second media, and I reported this through Stan last month that we were going to be doing this, and now we have done this. The second media source that we hosted was the Del Rio News Herald, which is the newspaper in Del Rio. And the reason why these two media outlets were interested in coming out here is because my business is here on the fort, and they were coming to highlight my business, and then I convinced them to highlight the fort instead. So what wound up happening with the Del Rio News Herald is we wound up on the front page, and we got free publicity for the Family Fun Day. The airfield got really great recognition, and everybody's interested in the airfield because of the fact that it's got airplanes, and it's really cool. So those are two really incredible news opportunities that we've received in the past month. So it's very exciting to be part of that. And then on Monday, to clarify a little bit of what you were speaking about, I invited the Mission Support Group Commander, who's a full-bird colonel, from Laughlin Air Force Base to come get a personal tour. And what he's doing is he's bringing his personal family along with his support staff to come see what is exactly here at the fort. I talk about it all the time when I'm on base, and I talk about it all the time when I'm at meetings. And he finally decided, you know what, I really need to see what this is about, because he saw the front page of the Herald. So Monday we're going to be taking them around. They're going to eat lunch at the restaurant on the fort, and then we're going to take them around and show them everything. And of course, they really want to see the airfield, so we're going to take them out to that. So it's very exciting. He is number 4 in command at Laughlin. So the goal is that he will report back to the rest of the wing staff agencies how awesome it is out here, and then we'll start to see more of that action come this way. So those are those guests. We hosted 3 guest aircraft this month as well, which is really cool. One of which is, I've talked to him very extensively about becoming a recreational member so that he can utilize the airfield a little bit more. So hopefully that'll start increasing with recreational memberships. The second one, he lives at another airfield, and this kind of segues into what's an old business that I won't be able to be here for. And he and I are going to be discussing a lot more in depth what their drone policy is, because he's on a very similar community as ours. So I'm excited to see what comes from that, and then I feel like moving forward we'd be able to more confidently bring forth an actual good option as far as locations are concerned. Let me see what else. And the last thing is that we went and looked at a lot of the old records for the airfield, and old resolutions that were not valid highlighted and referenced a building plan for the airfield, and there is currently no actual real plan for building at the airfield. One of the goals of our committee is to increase the number of pilots that we have on the airfield and to increase the number of airplanes that we get here operating out of this airfield. And as we were looking for this airport plan, it didn't exist. So what we are going to be doing is creating an airport plan that's a viable plan for growth to encourage new pilots to either build a hangar or purchase property adjacent to the airfield so that they can build a house and so on and so forth. So that'll be coming in the next few months. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but we're working on that.
And should not happen without a great number of the board or the architectural committee and so forth. It isn't something
Yeah.
the airport can do by itself.
Oh no, and it won't be. It'll be something that first I got to talk to Mr. Lawrence about it and see exactly what we can do based on the CCNRs. Then we'll go talk to architecture and.
Well, I know it's
a long
exciting,
process.
but
Yeah.
there's a lot to this for besides the airport.
Oh no, we're
Although
very well
we're
aware of
very
that.
proud of it. We are.
Yeah. No, and we're aware of that, but the only purview I have is the airfield. I don't touch anybody else. So, does anyone have questions for me? Because I am going to leave.
Anyone?
Great. Well, thank you. I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there someone from the architectural? Oh, there you are.
Things are as usual, nothing new to report on that schoolwork. But we are in need of members. So if anybody would like to spend half an hour, 45 minutes on Tuesday mornings.
And they're not from Unit 1, 24, or 27?
Wherever, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Well, that's what I've heard. But anyway, go to the office and sign up. Put your name down and your date of birth, social security, and how much money you make. Not just, no, I'm just kidding.
That'll get you watching.
But yeah, we only have 3 members, and if somebody's sick, we don't have a quorum, period. So we need
Right, and if we put too many members from one section on, we have a quorum of that, and that's not good. That's not a way to make
mix it up
decisions.
a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
So, if anybody's interested, go to the office and sign up. Thank you.
Thank you.
And not you.
Got a finance advisory?
I do. We did have a meeting on April 21st that had 3 of the 4 individuals. We discussed some basic planning. One of the things that the committee was interested in is coming up with some sort of 3, 5, or 10-year plan for what we want to do and how it's going to affect our finances. One of the committee members presented us with an outline, but we've had to cancel a couple of meetings now because people couldn't be there. So the next meeting is scheduled for June 9th, and we will be discussing having a strategic workshop with the board to come up with developing some strategic future plans. One of our members did move and found that he was unable to continue with the committee, and that was Greg Stone. We do have a backup, and I haven't been able to get in touch with her yet or discuss her position with the committee, and we will do so on June 9th. And hopefully by the next meeting, we'll be able to set a workshop date for the board to go over what the committee is going to be doing with future planning. So.
I'd like, excuse me, make a comment on the suggestion for the putting together a plan and why you're there and that came from Mr. Brennan. It's a very thoughtful, well thought out, a very professional, detailed plan, and I commend him for that. The only concern I have, I think it's wonderful, but the suggested hours for the length of the meetings could be discouraging to people, volunteers, when you're talking about 4 hours or 6-hour meetings.
This is just a proposal. He was talking about a regular, almost a seminar type thing, but in subsequent conversations, we're going to tone this down into a workshop format instead of a multi-day seminar type
Great.
thing, so.
I know how detailed and involved he can be from
Yes.
his Main Street and Bracketville presentations.
We've already, this is just a plan, and we're going to go over this with the rest of the committee members on June 9th. Again, running into the same kind of problem we run into with other committees during the summer with people traveling and not being available for dates. And
Great, thank you.
he's just become a grandfather again, so that delayed the meeting.
Golf committee? Anyone? Oh, there you are.
We did have our golf committee meeting the second Wednesday of the month. In the month of April, we had 482 prepaid golfers, 141 pay-as-they-play golfers, for a total member golfer of 623. 114 guests, 30 student, 9 military, and 4 gift card or Groupons, for 157 total guests. We actually also had 231 tournament participation, for a total of 1,011 golfers on the course, which was 47 less players than in 2016. At our meeting, we actually selected our scholarship winners, and we are giving 3 scholarships of $500 apiece, and the winners, according to community service, leadership, and scholastics, were Justin Hidalgo, Sadie Perez, and Selena Hernandez. And we actually had 4 applicants, and it was a really hard decision to pick 3 out of 4. I wish we could have given that other one also. Saturday, the 27th, is our end of the month tournament. Monday, on Memorial Day, we have a Fun Day tournament, which will be 4-man teams. They will be blind drawn, and you can only use 3 clubs and a putter, but you can buy extra clubs for $5 a piece. So we're encouraging everybody, whether you're a beginner golfer, past golfer, or whatever, to come and join us, and let's see if we can't. We've heard that people wanted something different, so this is different. Then on Tuesday and Wednesday of May, we also have, that's the 30th and 31st, we have a 2-day clinic for students 14 to 18, which will be half day, both days there. So we got a busy next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Preservation?
Yeah, but that's still not correct.
You're standing in front of the camera, did you know that?
I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's just that they're listening.
I hope I didn't break it.
If you're so sorry, why are you laughing?
We had our meeting on the second Wednesday of the month, and we didn't take on any projects, and the reason being is our finances that our treasurer says the amount of money we got doesn't match to what is being reported at the board, and we got to get this straightened out before we can take any projects on, because we don't know how much money we're supposed to have. I'd like to start thinking about trying to get Seminole Hall started again.
This sounds odd, but could you speak up?
I'm trying to get Seminole Hall to try to start finishing that up, and that's going to be an expensive project, and we really don't. We really like to know how much money we got in. Our treasurer met with Randy, and he's saying we got one amount, and the board's saying we got another, so we have to have it squared away. Also, at the committee meeting, the members, no offense, Dan, the members thought we was going to have some input on the resolution that you drew up. So we went and changed some of the wording in it. Basically, I got a copy of it, I'll give to you. If you agree with it and decide to have it re-voted on, we'll pay.
That'll be fine.
Okay. I'll give you the copy of the old resolution, the changes, and we type up the new one.
Okay, thank you.
And I appreciate hearing, we talked about the art gallery roof and the fire station roof, and I appreciate hearing about we're gonna get it done in June.
End of June.
In June. And,
Monique, just to give credit to Monique, she's been bugging the contractor.
okay. And the other thing that I drove around the Post Theater, well, I was parked getting ready to go play golf in Uvalde, and I started counting the number of light bulbs that have been busted by the hail. And there was 101 light bulbs busted out. And then I went to the side of the building, and there was a piece of particle board about that long, about this wide, screwed into the entrance door on the right-hand side of the Post Theater. It looks tacky, and I thought, we should get the light bulbs replaced. That's all I got as far as the Preservation Committee. Oh, that's it.
As you well know, kind of getting in line for projects that are still from that hailstorm a year ago. So probably, yes, light bulbs will be along the way. But I understand what you're saying, yes. Recycling?
We have a first. We actually shipped twice in March, the 1st and the 31st. As of the report that just came, which only details the March 1st shipment, we have managed to catch up to the point that we are only, I believe, 50, I can give you the exact amount. 5805 in the hole. Now, if we got the stuff online fast enough and on our website for us to get free shipping on the 31st, we're going to go positive and we will have a net profit for this year so far. So we're hoping on that one that we've turned the corner. The price of recyclables has gone up. Rachel was very concerned that there would be a big drop again for April. There was a slight drop, but not what she was expecting, so we're still doing fairly well. I need to get with the school and see if they are going to be able to have enough carton material to bale when school ends, or if they're going to work through the summer and get it baled. I have heard nothing from them as of this point in time. Other than that, we keep collecting, we keep baling. This last load, we sent 2 of the most humongous bales of #1 plastic I have ever seen. I think literally almost the size of a quarter of this table. They were monsters. So hopefully that also will up our income. And other than that, we ask people, please don't put cartons in with mixed paper. We have we have mesh bags to store them in. And use perhaps a little more care in where you put things. We're finding our volunteers are having to sort out a lot of misplaced items, especially with plastics. So if we can have people look at their plastics a little more carefully, appreciate that. And we go on, we've got a batch in there, and I imagine we'll be shipping again before the end of June. That's it.
Let me add that when you bring in bottles, take the caps off of them, please.
Don't forget to rinse them. Between the bees and the ants and the wasps. Sometimes kind of scary to work there.
It's the unrinsed beer cans that are really bee collectors, believe it or not.
And it's the beer drinkers that are most unlikely to be. Okay. Is there an RV report? I didn't see one.
No, I didn't see it.
Okay. We'll assume there'll be a big one next time. On recreation, I wonder if we couldn't get a recreation committee together now that we have Carol Ann and she could work with them. Before it was kind of hanging out there. Maybe she'd like to give some thought to that and see what can be done. I know we don't have a report unless I'm missing something. No? Okay. The Ad hoc Bylaw Revision Committee?
Good morning. The ad hoc committee has met 5 times so far, and it's a thankless job, and I want to thank the revised declaration committee for all the work that they did. You have no idea how helpful that has been, because we're trying to mesh the two together. But we have met 5 times. We will meet again this Monday at 4 o'clock here in the boardroom. And at this time, I'd like to present an extra member to our committee, if possible. Mary Frances Partlow has given an interest in the committee, and if that's okay with the board, we would like to have her on our committee.
I think anybody willing to work.
Okay.
Since I've been involved in the declarations, I do know how much.
Yeah, our problem is getting a quorum together, because there are many of us that do work, and so we have and the continuity of working with it. But it is we are moving forward, and want to thank Ann's input, and of course she's leaving for the summer also. And when she does leave, we will continue to move to meet in the summer. But we would like to have a board member present, and at that time we'll address that if that's possible. And that's about, unless you want all my papers. I don't think
Not
so
yet.
right now.
Not
It
yet.
is an advisory committee, and we are going through it, sentence by sentence, just as y'all did.
Thank you. Community Council report? Oh, you're doing both?
Yes, I got drafted into this because everybody else on the board is out of town this weekend, apparently. At our meeting last Saturday, we spent a lot of time discussing redoing the cinder block wall at the amphitheater to create a movie screen that isn't so affected by wind. Apparently, the last movie, they had to have maintenance there 3 times to fix things to stabilize the screen. We've gotten with Old Quarry, and they are on board with raising the cinder block wall that's in the middle of the stage by 4 courses, so that we can, hopefully, just use that surface painted white to show movies. If that doesn't work, we can attach the screen closely to it so it can't billow in the wind. And hopefully the movies can be watched with a great deal more continuity, shall we say. The discussion of doing that, the community council is going to help with the expense. Philip says he can do it. He says he has the materials to do it. So hopefully that can be voted on and go forward. We did talk in regard with Sheriff Coe about the signage and about speeding. It comes up at every meeting. There's always comment about the speeding.
And I just verified with Sheriff Coe, if we can bring the signage on Scales Airport and Fort Clark Road, they can patrol those roads. And then as funds are available, we can gradually get the entire fort up to snuff as far as signage, speed limit signs, stop signs, yields, all those kinds of things. He brought up some things that I did not know regarding breakaway signs. We can't have fixed ones because apparently for traffic regulation, there's an accident. We also talked about the presence of drug dealers on the fort. I believe Gina sent you a memo regarding that. Quite a bit of concern that there is drug dealing going on out by the driving range, and what efforts can be made to stop that cold. We didn't have any solution for it, but we did feel that it needs to be addressed both administratively and legally. And other than that, money, of course. We did not give scholarships this year because our treasury is pretty well tapped out. We hope that things will turn around for Fort Clark Days and so on, so that we can do that in the future. We talked about beginning at a board level, just the members of the board getting together, getting a list of corporate contacts together, and either using an old letter or creating a new one based on the older letters and getting those out hopefully by June to possible corporate sponsors to try to get the costs of the educational portion, at least, of Fort Clark Days completely paid for before the fact. Because weather does not impact those expenses nor income. We need to have all of the money for the living historians totally in the bank before the event. So that's where we are.
When you talked about the board writing letters, you meant your board, not our board. When you talked about the board members writing letters, you meant your board, right?
Yes. No, we thought we'd let all of you get.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you where we stand on that.
I know exactly what kind of response I'm going to get.
We're kind of busy.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you. We have a consideration for approval of air conditioners, and I think we have 3 or 4.
The third one we just got.
Oh, okay. Do you have a recommendation, Richard?
Yes, ma'am. Philip has been very good to contact these folks and discuss them further with them. The low bid is for $10,500, and it seems to be probably the best option.
From what?
That is the 24/7 service tech heating and cooling.
The one we just got?
The one you just received. It wasn't copied earlier.
I noticed this bid is dated May 4th. Why did we just get it today, 16 days later? You may not know, but maybe you do. I don't know.
I think when they prepared the package, it just simply didn't get copied.
Yeah, one's April 24th.
Are all of these bids, I mean, there's not a whole lot of information on all of them, but is it all based on the work being done exactly the same on each case?
Yes.
And that's what, so we want to get them, I think, all together, right?
I have another incidental question. Do we have $10,500 for this?
Yes, sir.
Is some of this part of hail damage?
Some of it is.
Would you like me to comment on that?
Would you please?
Okay. All right, back through the adjuster specs. As far as the teen center, the total amount allowed by the adjuster for a 3-ton air conditioning system was $3,520.06. Of that, they've paid the depreciated value of $1,466.94. The unit itself, as far as tax and the cost of the air conditioning unit provided by the adjuster specs, was $2,978.68. Once that has been completed, then we will turn the receipt and a letter of completion back into the insurance carrier to get the remainder of the replacement cost, which is about $1,100. $2,100, excuse me. As far as the administration building, the money allowed for that in the adjuster specs for hail damage was for repairs of the fins and a couple of other roof equipment for the total of $866.10. That was not depreciated because it was repair only. So we've received from them about $2,300. Doing this in my head, about $2,300 is going to go toward that, but we should get another $2,100 back from the insurance company for the one set at the teen center. Although we appear to be upgrading it from the 3-ton that was there to a 5-ton unit to better handle the square footage.
So we are actually going to cost us $8,200.
That's, yeah.
That'll work.
Another question I have, does anyone know what brand units? One of our bids specifies a RUD unit, and the other two, I can't seem to find anywhere where they specify what brand unit they're using.
Bill, do you have any idea on that?
All three contractors are going to use Root units
Because
they have a distributor here in Del Rio, so you get the part.
Can't hear you.
They have a distributor in Del
All
Rio.
three contractors are going to use Root units. There's a distributor in Del Rio, so
What about warranties?
the warranties should be listed on there. The 24/7 put their warranty down is.
They all the same, both?
The Root has their own warranty, which is a 3-year, I believe, and then they guarantee their work for a year, their labor. The only difference in the 24/7 bid is right now the air handler's up in the attic and it's bad up there. It's hard to clean, it's hard to maintain, there's no insulation up there, so it runs down. So we're gonna move it downstairs, make a closet and put it in a just like the rest of the handlers that are down here.
24/7 is going to do that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the one, he said there's only shows it on one. Are there any other questions? Are we ready to vote? We're considering 24/7, the lowest bid that meets all of our requirements. Could I have a motion to accept that bid?
I make a motion, we accept it, 24/7 bid.
I second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? See anyone opposed? Okay. The midterm budget. Richard?
Yes, ma'am. You should have received yesterday evening the final revision of the proposed revised budget mid-year. If you will, to be sure that we're talking about the same one, if you look to expenses on the next page, expenses under payroll, that payroll should read 1,067,311. If it does not, then you have the wrong copy. Very briefly, as you know, we've been working very diligently with the accountant, the CPA, in cleaning up the books and to be able to get some what I think are very good numbers. They're certainly better than they were before. And so on the basis of the prior 6 months, I've developed a mid-year budget, and that budget would then update and refine the line items. So what you see in front of you is based on the prior 6 months actuals. And also I took into consideration things such as seasonal, the necessity for seasonal adjustments, the necessity, took into consideration the certain projects that were done on a one-time in the first 6 months that will not be repeated in the second 6 months. And then I was able to more closely refine what I anticipate would be the expenditures and revenues by the end of the fiscal year, which is September, the end of September. I have received questions from board members, and I have attempted to answer those questions. If there are other questions at this point, I'd be happy to try to answer them as best I can. How do you want to proceed?
I would just comment that I did have a couple of questions I presented to Richard. I think it was 12 or 14 of them.
More than a couple, but yeah, that's fine.
And I will say that they were answered satisfactorily, good answers, and they cleared up some things that I didn't quite understand, and the differences did make sense. So I'd make a motion that we approve this midterm budget.
Is there a second? Ann is second. Any more comments? Questions? You must have all poured over it like I did. Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Nobody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Under old unfinished business, there's just a reminder. I'm sorry, am I interrupting?
No.
Okay, I thought you were ready to speak. There's a reminder that of the workshop on Fort rental properties, which is June 12th, more than likely 10 a.m. An update on the airport and drone policies. That's still up in the air. We'll have workshops on that later. I'm sure more than one. Go ahead.
I don't know if this is old business, but it goes all the way back to the report from the community council. That's over 5 minutes ago, isn't it? So, are we going to act on that wall?
We have a discussion. Under new business there.
Okay. Oh, I see that. Thank you.
Okay. Under the Dickman Hall workshop, I just wanted to report to you that primarily our problem was miscommunication. We called the workshop where everyone could discuss their concerns, and members of the group spoke freely about their fears and concerns about the future. One group didn't want to stop drinking, and the other group didn't want to take it away from 1940. The television seemed to be the most upsetting. So we've worked out ways that that can be done. As usual, Philip gets the brunt of everything, so we'll expect some shadow boxes over there. That's really just a report to you all about what happened in that group, in that section. Now we're at the discussion of the amphitheater wall. Philip, you have a good feeling for what's needed out of there. Can you tell us about it?
We have the cinder block. I have 2 pallets of it that was left from a rebuilt home that's here that I'm not doing anything with, and that's all that wall is made out of, cinder block. We'll just have to mix up the,
Cinder block and paint.
well, yeah, and a little bit of mud, but it's not a big deal to throw 4 high. And I was asked by Old Quarry if we can kind of distress it like it is now, or break the corners off. That's not a big deal.
Oh, great. So how long will it take you guys to do this?
Throwing the wall is probably, I don't know, 3-day job. We gotta clean it off first and then set it. Let it
And with
set
all
first.
the other things you have to do?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're only spending maintenance hours. You're
And-
not spending any new money?
Maybe a little bit on the mud to adhere it, but
Okay.
that's not gonna be over $40.
Okay, then. Go ahead.
Are there any concerns or considerations for the footings, the foundation under that wall? That's gonna add quite a bit of weight, won't it?
There's really no concern on it. I mean, it's not a straight wall, so it's not gonna blow. It's kinda got a bend to it, which stabilizes it a little bit more. There's not rebar ran into it now. Whoever built it for the movie set, because I was told that's why it was built, it was kind of just thrown up. So
It'll be rethrown.
that's right.
Okay.
I don't really feel like we need a motion to go ahead since it's an expenditure of $20 and maintenance time. And then I guess you just need to fit it into your, the rest of the things that you do.
Well, the reason I asked that it would go before the board is because it's kind of, it's the amphitheater, and we don't like to make any adjustments to any buildings or any properties without y'all okay with it.
I totally
That's the reason I said
understand,
that.
and I think we're all okay with it. Since it's no expenditure of money, and it doesn't seem to change the amphitheater much, except for the good. The Old Quarry's in agreement, and so, like I said, I don't really think we need a motion from the board. Anyone feel differently?
So I'd say go for it.
Consensus?
Absolutely go for it. I mean, it was always going to happen, I'm sure.
Well, let's take the question away, and I make a motion that we approve changes to the amphitheater wall as described.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? Then shall we vote on it? All in favor? It passes. All right, we're ready for the 15-minute discussion period. Do we have sign-ups? Just a minute. We got through so fast, we weren't ready for it.
It's blank.
Do we ever consider adding temps for certain parts of maintenance? Rather than hire them full-time, do we use some temporary help there? I don't even know the answer.
But
Is that something to look into?
sure.
Okay. You're supposed to do it before the meeting.
Couldn't find the sign-up sheet.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm just yanking your chain anyway.
That's fine.
Okay.
You didn't lie, everybody else does.
Come on up.
Thank you. Ask y'all to bear with me. I have Parkinson's. I was trying to fill that out. I forget what I'm trying to put down. One thing I wanted to ask and discuss was and I brought this up before to the board, about putting a finance committee together. When I say a finance committee, not like what y'all had me sign up for, and it turned out to be nothing compared to what I suggested. What I'm talking about is members of the group that when y'all need something, such as this air conditioning, you got a committee that starts to look around, do all the work, volunteering, and try to get you the best bang for your buck.
In other words, you would work with Philip on doing this.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
You would work with Philip on doing this sort of.
Well, we could work with Philip, or we could work independently and give it to Philip, give it to y'all, whoever. We wouldn't have the say in what would be done. We merely show you where you can get the most for your dollar. I think this is important because there's too many things that go on that seem to be costing a heck of a lot more money than it should have. And I think if we had,
Can you give me an example?
well, yes, ma'am, I can go back to your ice machine at the hotel. I could have got you an ice machine for $2,100. Y'all said, what, 5,000? That was ridiculous.
I thought so. I think an ice machine costing that much seemed outrageous myself.
Well, and it was. So all I'm talking about is, and when I brought this up to the board, you said to me, well, would you sign up for it? I said, my application will be in tomorrow, my resume, which I did. Never heard a word. Then when I found out what y'all did with the committee, I wouldn't have been interested anyway.
Okay,
I'm not a bookkeeper.
It's a different sort of committee, and the word finance got to us. So how about,
But
let's
I
call
think-
it something else and
I think
get
we
it started.
should look for something by the membership where we can assist, and instead of just,
It's called volunteering.
I volunteered.
There
I
you
put it
go.
in. I brought the discussion to you.
Well,
I don't know what else I could have done.
I'm sorry, I must have dropped the ball.
Okay, but,
We'll work
but
on
we,
it.
we do need to look for something like that. I think that would be something that would be beneficial, sitting on this side, which you all sit there too. Every time we turn around, it's surprise, now it costs more money to do this. Surprise, we need more money for that. We need to, I just got a building permit. Building permit was $25, cost me $75. Why did it cost $75? Well, they said because he came up with a plan that now if you want to build something, you have to pay for your permit by the square foot. What good did that do the membership?
That's news to me.
Well, I just got my permit, $75 for a building permit, whereas it's been $25. When I asked why, I'm sorry, my wife asked why, because I was out of town, and they told her, well, Mr. Orange came up with a plan where you have to now pay by the square foot for a building.
That's
And I
absolutely
said,
not true.
No,
I'm
sir.
sorry, it's not true.
That's not new.
Well- Pardon me?
That's not new. The amount they're charging may be, but they've had that before, so much per square foot.
I've never been told that before. This is the first time. And I'm merely parroting what was told to my wife. I was not present. But I thought, that's kind of outrageous. Why are we doing that?
Must be a big building, huh?
It's 15 by 20.
Really?
Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm tearing off the straight-in porch on the back of my house, which is 200 square feet. I'm extending it out 15 feet and building a 500 square foot den. But 200 square feet is already existing.
But this is an architectural committee thing that we can't really discuss here.
And I didn't mean to bring that open to discussion. I really wanted to bring it open that it was a surprise to me.
It's kind of a surprise to me.
Yeah.
I got the permit, it cost me $75, and
Well,
I thought it shouldn't have cost that much.
We'll have Richard look into it.
Okay, I appreciate that, yeah.
On finance committee, I think that what we need is somebody to coordinate our volunteers, and you fell through the cracks. That's a good idea, too. You fell through the cracks because there wasn't anybody hanging on to the volunteers that are, I mean, we've got people looking for volunteers for recycling and all of this, but people who, like you, would do this sort of thing. We don't really have a person to whom that.
Two of us volunteered for that.
Two? Who's the other?
Helena,
Oh,
she
okay.
volunteered also. She never heard a word anything either.
Like
And we
I
talked-
said,
We kept talking and saying, are they ever gonna make a decision?
yeah, I'm sorry, you fell through the cracks.
Well, once
Which is
again,
tough to do.
I'd like you all to think about that. I think it would be beneficial to the board as well as the community, and I'm personally for anything that helps the community.
I
If we
agree.
can reduce expenditures, that helps everybody.
Thank you. I am a senior, so the moments are more frequent now. And I do not,
I know the feeling.
I do not remember this, but this time I'll write it down.
Yeah, because there are times, admittedly, I'm so far behind, I think I'm first. But I do, I have PTSD and Parkinson's, and I have trouble, like I was trying to remember what I wanted to write down, I couldn't even think of the topic.
I understand.
Please.
So
I thank
we'll
you for
work
your
on
time.
it. Thank you.
Thanks for your input.
It's 10:12, and we're at, what?
Kathy, stand up out now, they can't.
I'm sorry, I didn't have a sign up here either.
No, I'm sorry I came late.
Come quick,
It won't take long, it's
come quick,
just.
come quick. I almost left you out, come on.
Well, what I have to say is something old. That's
Please,
not-
please say your name,
I'm Kathy Everett.
put it down where you can speak into it.
Okay. This is something old, this is nothing new. And it's about Unit 3. And it's getting pretty shabby looking. People don't mow. People don't pick up their trash when it's trash day. It's all over and it's in other people's properties. In the bylaw it states, if you don't mow, if you don't clean up, we will do it for you. Well, first we send you a letter, and if you don't react on it, then we'll do it for you, and we will bill you for it. So, this is my problem, because a lot of people complaining down in Unit 3, and I have a tenant living down there. Some people are taking care of it because that's what you do. But other people don't, and then some people, they don't speak English. You can talk to them, and in return, they can talk to you. So that was my statement.
Thank you. We'll look into that too.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That may be a good place for temps. Mowing other people's yards. Okay, before I let us go again, is there anybody else who wants to speak up quickly? All right, now it's 10:14. That was short. Thank you. 10:14, and I'm adjourning to executive session.
We wore hats because it was fast.
Services a couple of times.
I can remember
Had no hats.
Mom,
So I had to borrow
three of us,
somebody's.
taking the bus to downtown Davenport. She'd have her hat on and her gloves and her
And her
heels
dress.
and her dress. And we'd go eat at the tea room at Harnett von Peterson, Harnett von Mar.
That was my mom. Always had me gloves and pearls.
Me
Yeah,
too.
Well, men used to wear fedoras.
Yeah. Oh, I had my little gloves, my little patent leather shoes.
Today, as far as dress, anything goes.
Actually, as long as you know how to dress, when and where, you're okay.
It's 12:15, and I'm I don't remember what I'm doing.
We're here.
The board discussed several things in executive session. Number one, we reminded ourselves that we had not officially appointed the airport committee when it became an official committee of the board. So we will be doing that in the future with some input from the airport people now. Second thing, we entered into or agreed to have a memo of agreement with a person to run the duck inn for 3 months this summer, who will pay us rent, by the way. Third, we agreed to encourage Bernard to pursue a license with TABC for the alcohol served down at the Creekside Cafe. We also agreed that we needed an auditor from TABC to come out and look at our restrooms. We appointed Ashley Collier to the, we agreed to appoint Ashley Collier to the Architectural Committee. I'm running out of breath, this is my problem. She's from Unit 27, but Unit 27 is large and diverse, and we believe that that's possible for 2 people from that area. We also had someone from Unit 1. We decided not to get another person from Unit 1 since it is such a small unit. Finally, we had a contract, change in contract offered to us to lower the price of kilowatt hours on our electric bill. That would be replace AEP with summer energy. On that, we need a motion.
I move that we approve the contract from Summer Energy for cost savings on kilowatt hours.
Second.
Any more discussion or on that? All in favor? The next meeting of the Board of Directors is June 17th?
That's what it says here.
I'll take that.
At 9?
At 9 a.m., it's always that time. Any other comments from the board? It's 12:19. We are adjourned.